How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we have a few more discussion videos, and this time it's got a little bit of series going over the Zenkai Series Set 1 deck archetypes. So we're going to be going by color order. So for the first two, they are going to be for the red decks, those being the decks in GT for Red Syn Shenron and Red Gogeta SS4. Technically Gogeta SS4 is really SS4 Goku and Vegeta, but people mostly refer to it as that scene line as Gogeta SS4 Gogeta. And I thought this would be nice to actually check it out, see what's good in the archetype, like about the archetype, how it works, what's good in it, what's bad in it, what's some good things to go with it. So if you were looking to go straight into Zenkai Series and try out the deck, this could and hopefully might be helpful. But before we do that, I do want to give a few shouts. Firstly to DBS Deck Planet for being the best and only deck builder in the game. Fantastic interface with multiple features being included to help out the players, which is fantastic. And also don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because it really helps me out and it's much appreciated. Trying to get to 500 subs, like just over a fifth of the way there. We're getting slowly creeping over there, and there is the giveaway I did for when I got to 400 recently, and that just passed, and either the winner has been announced or will be announced soon. So check that out to see if you took part in one. And also, if you do want to try and get in on ever giveaways, I'm doing every 100 subs, and that's just by subscribing, and you even keep updated with my videos as when they drop by clicking the notification bell, and just giving a like or commenting down below. It really helps me out. So let's get into the video and check out Red Syn Shenron. So for this archetype, this is the third Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon deck we've got. And this one is a little bit nicer with the flavour, because if we start off first by looking at a leader, this is a colour that got a, this is a deck that got a Z leader. So not all decks in this first set got Z leaders. Mostly every deck got a Z card in some shape or form. So if you didn't know, for Zenkai Series we've got a new mechanic, a few new mechanics. We've got new areas in the Z deck and the Z energy. And in the Z deck, you can play cards which are Z leaders or Z battle cards, which are cards you have access to at any point, as long as you pay their costs, like we've shown on the screen with the Omega. You have to trigger the costs on the card. So on a normal battle card, the normal cost plus the new Z energy cost as well, which as you can see on the Syn Shenron, that was seven cards from your Z energy. And how you pay that is you send the cards from your Z energy to your drop. And for battle cards, you pay the cost on the card, the pretty cost like you would normally a normal battle card, but also pay the Z energy cost. And for leaders, you just trigger the conditions on the Z Awakening, paying any costs and stuff and meeting the requirements, plus play the Z energy. And this set is really flavorful in terms of how the new mechanic works with the lead. Like for the previous ones, like especially with this Shadow Dragons, in the previous ones we've had the leader being Syn on both sides, like flipping from one to the other, or going from Syn to Omega, but still being on Syn. And that was, well, it was normal as it was meant to be, but this one gives it more flavour, because just like in the series, the Syn goes from being just negative energy in the 1-star ball, which is cool, flipping over to Syn Shenron, and then when it Z-Wakens, it goes to the final form in a Mega Shenron, which I think is a really nice touch. And this is one that, like, it could have been a wish leader. Like, it's like it's almost like a wish leader, not exactly, but it's almost like it, because we've only had one wish lead that's red, which is a shame. And this is close, like similar to the Meki leader, where it's got some aspects of what Wish had, but it's not a Wish deck, which is interesting, really. So you start off on the 1-star ball, and this gives you a deck building permanent, which means you can only include up to 6 Dragon Ball cards, and you can include battle cards that are not red. So if you look at it, you can't include just mono blue cards, mono green, mono yellow, mono black. You can't include any of those. But if you have a multicolored card that has red in its color, you can still include that because it's still a red card because it's got red in the color. So you can still play multicolors, which is a nice thing you can still do. You just can't have any like black cards, so you can't have any overwhelm. And another thing, it doesn't work with the older cards as well. Like you can't play the old Haze Shenron from the original yellow Syn Shenron deck, which would have been nice, but because it's yellow, you can't play it because the leader restricts you from not being able to. It also has a permanent, like most things like this, like the balls and the Shenron Mighty Dragon has, which is it can't attack. So, but you're not going to be worried about that not attack because he's got an activate main where you switch this card to rest mode, add two Dragon Ball cards from your deck and or life to your hand, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it with your skill. Now this is really nice because not a lot of decks have access to see what's in their life at any point in the game. They can, like, you only have normal. It's not only restricted to like wish leaders or decks like launch where they can look through all the cards in life from the mechanic of the deck. So that's really nice, just how off the bat you can +2 as well because you get 2 Dragon Balls. So straight away from the first turn, most leaders they have to attack or something to be able to get a draw. This is a nice one where you can go first and still gain advantage without needing to have the attack to trigger that. And so you +2 straight away for the leader, and also you get the receive for your life, so you know what's in your life and what's in your deck, so you know what where everything is. So if you want a specific card, you can easily find it with this, which is really, really nice. And its awaken is cool as well because it's got an alternative awakening, which is nice to have on any lead. And it's when your lives are 4 or less, or if you have 6 or more Z energy, you may switch this card and up to 1 of your energy to active mode, which is great because it means you can switch it to rest to switch for the 2 balls. And then when you awaken, restand it, so you can switch for the balls and then restand to be able to attack on the awakened side. And you also untap an energy. Sometimes you get in the draw because you're getting essentially a +6, most like potentially off the lead. You over like a few turns. You can then you get an energy. You just untap an energy and restand the card, so you can then attack with the awakened leader. And also note that it just says 6 or more is the energy. So we'll see the balls in a bit to see what they do. And basically, this can be awakened very quickly, and even if you can't find all the balls, you can still have other ways by comboing using the Zenkai mechanic to be able to awaken if you don't have all the balls, which is really, really nice. Then when you awaken, you aren't all that impressive as an awaken leader. He's quite basic, just draw on attack with his auto, and you also have an activate main which goes well with the whole thing, which is like a Syn killing, like basically using all the Ever Dragons as just fodder to help himself. So it's an activate main where you choose one of your Shadow Dragon cards and up to one of your opponent's battle card, well, up to one battle card of Unison, it could be yours or your opponent's, and the chosen cards get -50k power. And this is great because it triggers some effects on your Shadow Dragons as well, either like gain power or do other effects that replay and do things. And also, it's great that it says a battle card or Unison, which means this is one of the few decks or even like something that's restricted more to green in having ways to just rinse through Unisons, which is fantastic. Just being because minusing power in Unison down to 0 makes it lose a marker and then reset essentially, and that's just fantastic to have. So if you like normally you have to attack to your opponent's Unison, which sometimes they can defend it with like negates and stuff like that, and now you can start minus it to basically just rip markers off and have an easier time. But that's not all, because then you can go to another form with the Z Awakening, which is a 20k double strike base leader, so you can get your leader up to 20k base, which is very strong. Because if your opponent's not got a Z, not got like a power boost on their leader, they're gonna have to be, or just going wide with 15ks, they're gonna have to start investing cards now. And it's very easy to get to this. All you have to do is send 7 cards from using into your drop. Be it 3 or less life, and your opponent has to have 3 or more energy, and your leader needs to be a Red Syn Shenron. So as long as you meet those requirements, you can play it on top, and it's going to be very easy to meet 7 Z energy, as we'll see in a bit. But being a 20k double strike base leader is fantastic. You still have the draw on this, where you can attack the draw one. That's not a lot of leaders, not a lot of Z leaders, as we'll see as we go through the series, have much in terms of like still draw power on the Z leader, but they normally have strong effects. But like normally with Z leaders, they're cards you can play on top of your leader when you're low, but they have a very strong effect. Not always draw, but ever strong effects in some other way. And it also still has the same kind of activate main now, where now you could you minus by 20k instead, and you have an extra effect of it where if you remove 6 Dragon Ball cards when you drop every game, you get the free play any red Shadow Dragon from your hand, which is great. And then you'll see we get a big boss one as well, which actually we'll check out now. So that's the leader and the Z leader, very strong, very good, and as you can see just from this little bit, the deck gains quite a lot of advantage. And now we have the balls and the big hitters. So the cracked Dragon Balls are the Dragon Ball you're going to be running in the deck, because as Syn Shenron is not a just Shenron card, it's not got the Shenron trait, it's just a Shadow Dragon. It doesn't, even though it can get the Dragon Balls, it doesn't work with the old Dragon Ball, the old normally like black ones to draw one. So instead in the set it's got cracked Dragon Balls which go well with the theme, and it's got the Dragon Ball trait. It's also got a permanent where if this card is in your Z energy, it only leaves your Z energy for when used for a Shadow Dragon Z energy cost. That means even though we got ever Z cards, as we'll see in a bit, you can only send these from your Z energy to your drop to pay for a Z Dragon card. So at the moment just the Z leader. And you might be wondering, how do you get this in the Z energy? Well, it's with activate main. So just a reminder as well, when you activate an extra card, you reveal the card, pay any cost, and then set it to the drop, and then resolve the effect in full. So with this, you activate this, show the card, set it to the drop area to resolve this effect of if your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card, draw one card and add this card to your Z energy from your drop area. So I know people were asking online when this was first revealed, asking about if you activate it in drop or hand, and that's how it works. So you'll reveal the card, activate it, send it to the drop, and then resolve the effect in full, which then you draw a card, and now it's in your drop area, you send it to put it to your Z energy. So that is how you charge your Z energy. You can get to a high count for the Z leader, so you can get to 6 really quickly, and then just need to combo one more to get to 7 if you need be, and that's how you get there. And then we have the two kind of bigger hitters in the deck, being Syn Shenron Dread Destroyer, which is a 20k double striker at 4 cost, with a way to cheat in as we'll see, and Omega Shenron Unfeeling Retribution, which is the big boss with a triple strike deflect, 30k 8 drop, which can come out for cheaper as well. So with the Syn Shenron Dread Destroyer, it's a double strike 20k, which is very nice. It's like a base standard for most 4 drops nowadays, and it's got an activate main, which is how you cheat in by limit 1, paying for 1 red energy if your leader's card is a red Shadow Dragon card, and either your leader is a Z leader or you have 6 or more Z energy. You draw 1 card and play this card from your hand. I know people were confused about what the condition was, but essentially with this, you need to always be a red Shadow Dragon card, but then you need to either have a Z leader in play or 6 or more Z energy. And you just pay that for 1. It's just nice that you pay it for 1 to drop this, but you can only do it once per turn because the limit 1. And you draw a card means you place it from your hand, so you're not losing anything. You're just gaining a 20k double strike for 1 energy and not losing anything. And it also has a nice useful effect. They help go well with the theme, which is choose one of your Shadow Dragon cards and KO it as the cost. When this card attacks, you choose up to 1 battle card or Unison card, and it gets minus 20k power for the turn. So it's another way to chunk through Unisons or battle cards as well. Not many of the effects, none of the effects really go for power or anything like that, but it would be busted if it could. But then it's still nice to sacrificing your other Shadow Dragons, which also trigger effects, as we'll see, to get nice boosts. Then we have Omega Shenron. So this is always not going to come down for 8, and it's nice that they're 5k combos as well. The boss monsters now, it used to be 1 cost 10k, which meant they were really strong cards, but could be dead in your hand. And this comes out for 2 energy, but only on turn 3, because there's activate main, which is limit 1, so you can only drop 1 of these per turn using its effect to play it cheaper, by paying 2 red energy. And if your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card or Z leader, and you have 3 or more energy, you play this card from your hand. So easy, get the 3, once you have 3 or more energy, pay 2, drop this from your hand, a nice 30k triple strike. And being 8 drop with deflect means it's immune to mostly all the counter players, because deflect hits most of them, and being 8 cost means it can't be touched by charismatic. And it also has a permanent which goes well with the theme, where when this card's power will be reduced, it gets 5k power instead until the start of your next turn, and then if this happens, you need a skill until the start of the next turn. So that means once a turn, if it will be minused, it gets 5k instead of being minused, and then it gets a skill for the turn. Then it's reset for the next one. So when it comes to if you do it on your turn, that triggers. Then when it comes to your opponent's turn, it's reset and back down to 30k. And not only being a 30k triple striker, it also has a nice activate battle, which is once per turn. You choose up to one battle card or unison card, and it gets minus 3k power for the turn for each card in your Z energy. So usually you're going to have 6 in there to trigger already, which is quite nice, giving you a nice 18k power reduction. And additionally, if your leader is a Z leader, so you get a bigger boost as well as it. If you have a Z leader, you choose up to one battle card or unison card, and it gets minus 30k power for the turn. So usually, when it comes up to before you go in your Mega, you can at least get base 18k, because you're going to have the 6 balls in your Z energy. But as soon as you go into your Z leader, you're going to get always going to get 30k, and then extra for whatever you got in your Z energy, which is nice. So a nice big threat. And also, you can potentially drop 2 of these in a turn if you're at 3 or more energy, and you are your Z leader, because then you can drop this for 2 energy and potentially drop 1 for 3 off your leader by using that main skill on that. So that's it for the balls and the big hitters. Then you have some more of the archetypes. So this is the consistency and benefit pieces. So these are the ones that help you get the balls or search for cards. So you got Red Syn Shenron, which is Conjugating Evil, which is your searcher for your battle cards and Unison. You got Hey Shenron Gathering Evil, and Oceanus Shenron Assembling Evil, which are cards that help you get your balls in your ZNG and also give skills to your Ever Dragons. And they all have the same permanent, where if your leader is a Red Shadow Dragon card, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1, and that's going to be relevant when we'll see in a bit for certain Unison. So with Supernatural Shenron, it's just if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, so it can work with older ones as well if you want to try it with that. When this card is played, you look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, add either a red Shadow Dragon card with energy cost of 4 or less, or 1 red Unison with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So if you played a 2-cost Unison package, then you can have this as a nice way to search, or find some of your Shadow Dragons for a nice turn 1 play if you need be. Now with Haze and Oceanus, they both have the same auto as well. Well, not as well as Natron, but they both have the same auto together, which is if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played, you draw 1 card, then place up to 1 cracked Dragon Ball from your deck in your Z energy, then shuffle your deck. So this is a nice way to, if you want to awaken sooner than turn 3, then you can just use these to be able to put the cracked Dragon Balls from your deck in your Z energy, ready for you to try and awaken quicker, and also replace this off by drawing 1. They also have activate skills that gives activate effects that gives skills like keyword skills to some of your dragons. So Hey Shenron will give crit, while Oceanus will give barrier, and they can do this by activating the activate main, which is if your leader card is red and a red Shadow Dragon, and you place this card from your hand or battle line and you drop. That's the cost for both of them, but Oceanus also does have a level requirement, energy requirement, unlike Haze. So Haze can be activated any time as long as your leader is a red Shadow Dragon card and you place it from your hand or battle line and you drop. Where Oceanus can do the same, but your opponent needs to have 3 or more energy. And yeah, Hey Shenron basically chooses one of your Shadow Dragons in your battle area, gives it crit, and Oceanus chooses one of your red Shadow Dragons in your battle area and gives it power until the end of your opponent's next turn. And Hey Shenron is a nice one because it's activate battle. It means you can swing with it, so you don't have to avoid your opponent seeing you've got crit and having the negate ready. You can swing with it, and if the attack's not negated, then you can just chuck it on if you want to. Whereas Oceanus needs to be done in the activate main as well. So that is the consistency pieces, and normally you run at least, probably most likely 4 of the Haze and Oceanus, and then Supernatron is dependent on if you want to run it to use it as a searcher or not. Then we have the Ever 2 Shadow Dragons. You probably, 2 of the Ever Shadow Dragons were missing, which is the recurring attackers, and I say this because these ones can just get at least 2 attacks in mostly every turn once your opponent has 2 or more energy. So they're both 2 cost 15k's, and these can also be cheated out for a lot cheaper. Like you pay most 2 energy, and that's for the big boss monster. Everything else you're paying for 1 energy for, potentially paying for 3. And these are played for cheaper because they're activate main, where for 1 red, if your leader is a Z leader or you have 6 or more Z energy, you play this card from your hand onto the board. and that's not once per turn. You can play multiple once you reach those conditions, but their autos are limit 1 though. And they both have similar ones, where if your opponent has 2 or more energy as the cost, when this card is placed in a drop area from a battle area by one of your skills, you play this card from your drop and you get certain skills. So they both play themselves back, but Nova will draw 1 when it's returned, and Zenkai Shenron will gain critical. And they're both limit 1 as well, so you can activate more than one of these effects across all copies of the card per turn. But these are nice just because you can swing 15 and then use your leader to just minus 15k it and minus 15k sync on their board to then bring these back out, and whoever draw you 1 or ice again critical just have more swings. So it potentially opens up for like a turn 2 or 3 play where you can getting about 6 swings including your leader, like 2 from each of these, 1 from the 4 drop and your leader as well, to put a lot of pressure on your opponent, which is very nice. It's one thing that I'm drawn to this deck, is it can be very, very aggressive and very nice. And these are ones as well you can play 4 copies of each just to get them out because they're quite easy and cheap. But sometimes you might want to run less on the Zenkai Shenron because unlike Nova, it doesn't draw you a card. Then we have the bad parts. So there's only 2 really bad parts for this this side of red, and that is the Red Syn Shenron Impenetrable Evil and minus Energy Powerball. I say the bad parts because they're like the harder ones to use, and minus Energy Ball isn't that great for what it is. So we'll start off with minus Energy Powerball. It's basically a counter attack, negate the attack, and additionally if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, choose all your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 10k power for the turn. Now usually there's not too many decks in the format that go wide, or normally when decks, like most of the decks now, they don't really care about being minus, or they've got cards with barrier, so this isn't the best to pay 1 energy for. You want to get a lot more for your energy than this card provides. And then with the Red Syn Shenron, this is a 4 cost, 15k with unique critical and blocker, a counter attack skill which is limit 1 where you negate attack and play this card, but you don't want to pay 4 of that, well 4 energy for this, but that's not a worry because you can make the cost cheaper, just it's less consistent to do, and more late game. It more opens up a longer game for Syn if you want to, which is not red style, but you can if you want to try it. And that's because the permanent reads if your leader is a Red Syn Shenron Z leader, so you have to be a Red Syn Shenron Z leader, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. And the issue with that is that if you want to drop the Z leader, you need to be at 3 or less life, opponent be on 3 or more energy to Z awaken, and you've got nothing really with the archetype to be able to take your life unless you get multiple balls in drop or you get attacked a lot. And usually going on the 3 life isn't the greatest thing because we're getting more and more cards that are like hit quite hard for or triple strikers or even double strikers to then make it so your 3 negates and stuff like that by taking life are not functionable. So, and going down to 1 against most red decks or something like that, there's some decks that have a way to just finish you off once you get you down to 1 life. So this isn't the best card, but is bad, but it's bad for how red is in general, which is more aggressive color. But if you want to play a more long game, it could be okay, but you wouldn't play too many copies of this card even then, because of the fact it's unique, and also your counter attack is limit 1, and you don't want to get clogged. Then we have some Unison package. So red has got quite a few good Unisons, and it did used to have a really good 2-cost Unison in the Piccolo Jr., but unfortunately due to King Piccolo that got hit, just cut down its draw power, so that got hit down to 1. So 2-cost Unison packages kind of got hit a little bit in red. Like people have been trying to replace having the ever 3 copies of Piccolo Jr. with other ones, and now in this set we get a brand new 2-cost Unison that's not for this archetype, but is a really good one and just generic for a good improvement for red, and that is with S4 Gogeta Powers Connection. And this here together on the screen is a nice little 2-cost Unison package, because you've got the Unison that you probably play 4 of, Yamcha you probably 3 or 4 of, because you can't play Videl with a 2-cost specified Unison unless you want to pay the energy cost after for that. And then you've got a nice way to stop most floodgates, which is really nice in Emblem Awakening. So with SS4 Khajiit, we'll start with the Unison first. It's a brand new 2 specified cost 15k Unison. It replaces itself when it's played as well because it was auto, where when this card is played, you look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, add to 1 red card among them to your hand, and you should place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now in this deck, that's going to get any card you see off the top because you can't play any non-red battle cards. So unless you're playing non-red extra cards, but then unless you're playing a full 3 copies and just happen to see 3 copies of the only non-red cards in your deck, then you're going to be unlucky in that. But normally you're going to be playing this, look at top 3 and add any red card, which is really good because you can grab like a secret rare, super combo, things like that, which is fantastic. So just have the fact that it comes down and plays itself is amazing. And not only that, but it also is a Unison that is a +2, which we don't see that often in red, and especially on 2 specified cost Unisons. So it's got a +2 marker skill and a -4. +2 is play up to 1 red battle card with energy cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. Now you might remember that the 2 costs all have a permanent where if your leader is a Shenron leader, is reduced by 1 in your hand, so that makes them all 2 costs. And you don't really have to worry about the fact it comes in rest mode because, as we saw, Haze Shenron and Oceanus, which are the main ones you can be playing in the deck, and ones you're probably going to play off this anyway, just to get a draw. They replace them off the hand. They have effects which allow you to send them from the battle area to give skills to your other Shadow Dragons. So playing them in rest mode is not actually a downside for this, which is actually great. And that means that on turn 2 you can play this and have a 4 specified, well, it's a 4 marker Unison, and that's quite difficult to get rid of on turn 2, especially if you've got some ways to protect it. And not only that, but its -4 is actually decent as well because it's a nice way to kind of give yourself an extra finisher. Because it's an activate battle skill, so you can choose, so you can kind of bait this out by attacking with it. Opponent negates, and you just go with the activate main +2 instead. But the activate battle is this card gets 15k power and double strike for the battle, meaning that at any point, once it's got like 5 or more markers on, you could freely just swing, and if it goes through, try and push through with this to make it a 30k double striker, which is really, really nice. So this is a really, really, really strong Unison, and it's nice to get this after we got like the Piccolo Unison hits 1 limited. And normally when you're playing the Unison, you're going to want to play the 3 counter plays. So Yamcha's the next best one because it's a free one, and it's a very good one. It's got more potential now than it had when it first released because people figured out how to use it a lot better, and it actually fits a little bit better in this format. But it depends. It depends what kind of deck you're going against, because if they've got a lot of deflect cards, it's not going to be great. But if they don't, so in some decks it can work really well. Some might not work so well. But even there's a red card, you can charge it, so it's not so bad. Or even a battle card to charge the energy with as well. And then one of the nice things that goes with this, playing this 2 specified cost package, is Omen Awakening. Because as you know, red decks can normally play Vegeta Resolve, which we've seen a bit, and that's a really nice card to stop hit floodgates, but it only hits ones that are 15k power or less. So floodgates like red, if it becomes a red centric format, Toppo is going to be a strong one that red will have trouble with because it doesn't have a way to hit them with that Vegeta, which is the main way people do it, try to stop things. And if you're going against blue deck, and blue is normally a color that gives red a hard time, and that can play counter-attack floodgates like Vegeta Ready to Rumble, which normally once dropped will just end the turn right there because you don't want to be losing energy when they can just negate the attack and you just waste energy for nothing. So those are some problem floodgates, and this is a nice card that actually hits them because Omen Awakening reads as counterplay. If your leader card is red, you choose 1 card in your life, place in your drop area. Remember, you can awaken 8 high life, so you can potentially awaken 8 life. So losing a life at 8 life is not a bad thing. If the battle card being played has 20k power or less, it's placed in its own drop area instead of being played. So that's a nice way to just stop the Toppo or Ready to Rumble from being even hitting the drop. So it stops the floodgate, doesn't stop the opponent stopping the attack, but still make sure the floodgate never triggers. And it's not going to be paid for 2, because that's the good thing about having it with the 2 cost Unison package. In that, it's permanent. It makes it so if you have a red Unison card with a specified cost of 2 in play, you reduce the energy card of this card in your hand by 1, so it becomes a 1 cost play similar to Vegeta Resolved. So if you're thinking about the Unison package, this is a good way to go about it. But if you're thinking about the free cost, because Red does have a very good free cost Unison and package, we've got this. Now, so you've got Baby Juvenile Parasite, which is probably the best, yeah, actually is the best Red special cost free Unison at the moment, because when you're tapped out, it gives you an extra 1k power on your lead to help defend a little bit easier, especially if you go to your Z lead as well. Makes it even harder to get through on your lead. It also has a nice permanent to help it keep markers by placing a card from underneath it to stop it from losing a marker by battle. And it's always got as a +1, which is very, very good, because it's not only just draw, it's gaining a marker and then drawing a card, and then be able to clear a card off your opponent's board by absorbing it underneath it, and then it becomes 20k to be able to attack with on offense as well. So there's 4 great things: a +1, draws the card, removes something from your opponent's board, and becomes 20k to push some damage, or something like markers off Unison in your turn. Now on defensively it is only a 10k, so it's a lot easier to put damage through onto it to try and force the markers off. But it does come with a nice counterplay in Videl and Counter and Danger. Now this is Red got 2 counterplays that you can potentially play for free, depending on your use in the package. And Videl's a really good one for if you're running 3 specified cost or more, because its counterplay is similar just to Freezer, where you just play it, and its permanent makes it so if you have a Red Unison card with specific cost of 3 or more in play, you can play it, use a counter skill for free. And it's also is a nice one because unlike Yamcha, it gets past cards with deflect. It just, like Yamcha, doesn't hit through barrier, but it can get around deflect, and a lot of things now are coming down with deflect when people want to drop big boss cards or like big threats to try and do stuff. So this is a nice way as well to get through back deflect. So if you're annoyed with deflect and want to get around that, this is probably a better package to go for, because the auto is Spirit Boost 1 if your leader card is red or a hero card. When this card is played, you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and get minus 20k power for the turn. So this kind of does have a stronger benefit than Yamcha, because it's minus 20k instead of 15k. It can be played through deflect. It just isn't. It's just only a 10k and needs the free cost package, whereas Yamcha can work with both packages, but can hit through deflect and only hits 15k. So depending on what you want to do, that's the option you could go for. And we also have Galactic Explorers. Now this isn't just for the free cost Unison package. You can play this for the 2 cost one. It's just I couldn't think of a third card to go with the specific key just for the free cost Unison package. So I popped this on because it's a nice one just to have in any red deck that has a Unison, because you can just use it to add markers to Unison by just activating his third activate main by playing under one of your red Unisons with 10k power or more, giving it a marker. And the benefit it has better with Baby is that it's in a card underneath it to make it so you have technically an extra, you give it 2 markers essentially, because then you can use the Unison's permanent that attach this to avoid losing a marker by battle, and then also give it a marker, so you're technically giving it 2 markers with this. And it's not just to give it an extra marker, maybe an extra 2 markers really. It's there so you can play it whenever you want, whenever you feel like, once you get the 4 or more energy, because the first active main is for 3 energy. If you have 3 or more energy, play this card from the Unison. And then it also has another benefit of being able to wipe your opponent's board by reducing the power, and also giving yourself a little bit more pressure with his second activate main, which was returned by removing 3 markers off your Unison with the Spirit Boost 3. You choose all your opponent's battle cards, minus them by 30k, and then this card against triple attack. And it's also got deflect, meaning it's not going to be stopped from coming down. And just like with the 8-drop boss monster Omega, it's an 8 cost with deflect, meaning the 3 cat players won't touch this. So that's it for the Unison package. So maybe that helps you decide which Unison package you can go for. They both have their own benefits, but it comes down to how you play style at the end of the day. Then we have some powerful red tech. So red is a colour that has some very, very powerful cards, and it has ones like Broly Crown of Retribution, which then works also really well with the Gogeta Unison because it's the 1 cost, and this allows you, if your opponent's got 2 or more energy open, be able to play this, be able to look at the card, look at their hand, and rip something from it that's 20k power more or less, which is really nice because you get a rip something from the hand, which you're most likely going to rip a super combo, or even a floodgate if you want to rip a floodgate out instead, and have that hand knowledge to see what they've got in your hand, whether you can kill them that turn or defend against their next turn. Then we've got Vegeta Resolve Renewed, which is the character I was talking about earlier, which is the one how mostly Red stops floodgates, because his character plays if a battle card being played that's 15k power or less, it's placed in his own drop area instead of being played. And you normally play this on turn 3 or further, because that's when its permanent kicks in to reduce it by 2. And that's mainly how your solid floodgates can come down, because most of the powerful floodgates, outside of things like Top and Ready Rumble, are 15k or less, so it's a nice way to stop it from hitting the board so they can't trigger the floodgate. And then we've got King Piccolo, which is if you're running the Unison packages, either of them, you can have this as a nice way to put some extra pressure in, because it comes down for free. Once your opponent has 3 markers on Unison, you can just activate main, play it for free, and that's it. It doesn't matter about you can't play anymore for the turn, because it's limited as the current list states. And this is a nice 20k double strike attacker you can play for free that can't be blocked when it swings because of its permanent. Then we have super combo options. So these are the two probably best super combos to run for it. Raditz is one of those sets of super combos which most cut is wrong is the best in each one, maybe apart from green, depending on how your deck runs. Because you can just pop like a card that's dead in your hand or you don't want, literal 2 brand new cards, which is really great. But given that this deck doesn't have any reliable self-awakening to kind of get yourself down the 4, and you can awaken at quite a high life, Beerus is never a good one to go for, because where you're running just all red cards in your deck, you're not running anything that's not red, most likely, it's always going to become a 10k draw 1 super combo that's live at any point. Because its effect is if your leader card is red or yellow, when this card is using the combo from your hand, you reveal the top card of your deck and add it to your hand. If the reveal card is red, it gets 5k combo power for the turn, for the battle. And that's the only relevant part because, but if you do run some yellow cards, like if you do reveal, well, it doesn't matter because if you reveal another copy of this, it's got red in it, so you get both effects. But if it's yellow, if the card revealed is yellow, you choose up to one of your opponent's cards in rest mode and it gets minus 5k power for the battle. So that could be an extra benefit as well, because you can potentially make this a 15k on whatever you attack, which is really nice if you reveal another super combo at least. Or it's just standard a 10k combo that draws you a card. So it depends. If you want, Rat's a really good one, be able to like filter your hand a little bit and draw 2 brand new cards. Or you can go with Beerus, which is live all the time, but just draws you 1, but then potentially be 15k if you hit another super combo. And then we got the Z deck options. So it's weird. One weird thing about this set is that even though it's a brand new mechanic, we're not getting too many Z cards. Like we've only got like 3 for each color mostly. Like 4 technically. So you got 1 in the starter decks and 3 in the set. And for this set, well, for red, 2 of the Z cards we got went to the leader. Went to each of the leaders. 1 is in the star deck. I use this one generic one in Rush Attack Vegeta, but this is a really good one, and it's probably better in the Omega deck just because of the fact you can get 6 Crack Dragon Balls in your life, in your Z energy, to be able to just always have them there until you want a Z Awaken. And it really benefits Rush Attack, because Rush Attack is a 2 cost 15k that requires 2 red energy and any 2 Z energy to go from your Z energy to your drop to pay for this card. It's the flex, which means it's not going to be stock come in play, and it's relevant on most of them. I think most of them have it at the moment, because if a Z battle card is removed from the battle area, it's removed in the game, or if it fails to play in the battle area, it's removed from the game. And it's got a very nice auto, which is when it attacks, use it to 1 mono red card with a 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with the skills to get for the turn. And additionally, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or Unison cards and gets minus 15k power for the turn. So this gives any red deck power to minus Unisons to help get more markers off them, which is really nice. So a nice bit of Unison hate. And it's got an activate main, which is more relevant and easy to pull off in the Omega, which is once per turn. If you have 4 or more Z energy, switch this card to active mode. It gets 10k power, double strike, and barrier for the turn, which is really nice. You can get 2 swings of it. First one being 20k, and the second one being 30k. Because remember, you're comboing with the auto, because the auto is not once per turn, and also minusing 2 things by 15k, as well as that. So that's a really strong card. And I say it's very strong in the this deck because, as we said, you can't send the Crack Dragon Balls from the Z energy to the drop as a cost for any Z card unless it's a a red Shadow Dragon, or red Shadow Dragon card, Z card, which currently is just the leader, awakened leader. So if you haven't awakened, you can combo 2 any other cards to send them for the cost of this, and then you've always got that 2 attacks in guarantee because the Z energy is filled with the cracked Dragon Balls, which are at least 4 or more. And you've got SS4 Son Goku, which is one that comes in the Pan starter deck, which is a nice 20k double flight deflect, which pay 2 energy and 3 Z energy, so it's very, very cheap. And this one's a nice one because the activate main's not important because it only works with Pan, the Pan lead, but the auto's a nice one because when this card is played, you can place up to 1 Saiyan card from your dropper into this card, and this card gains barrier for the turn. Additionally, if your opponent has 4 or more life, deal 1 damage to them. So it's mainly for the deal 1 damage, because remember that you've got things like triple strikers in this deck, like with the boss card, and you can potentially play 1 for free off the Z leader. And so getting your opponent down from 4 to 3 to finish off with that Omega is very nice as well to try to get there, or even just doing 1 damage to make it easier, so less attacks you need to get in is very good. And you can potentially give it barrier if you've got any Saiyan in your drop to put underneath it as well, which is cool, to make it so it can't be hit, so it's hard to interact with when it's swinging that turn. So that's a Z deck option, so that's what the Z leader. And then we have some very strong extra card choices. So we got Testing Opposition, nothing more to say about this. Every colour has a token negate now, which basically allows you to negate potentially negate 2 attacks, because it negates the attack and plays a token that has blocker for the turn, and it can be played for free if you're less 5 or less, but taking a life instead of to pay for its counter skill. And you have Violent Rays, which is probably going to be one of the best cards coming out, used for most red decks coming in the current format, because there's a lot of cards at 20k or more, big bosses and stuff like most decks have, and it's a nice way to stop them for the turn. But so most of the time when you see a red deck that's left 1 energy open, it's probably mostly going to be for Violent Rays. Then you've got After Image Technique, which is a nice one because as I said, where you can awaken at a high life total, you can have life to play this card for free, but using its Sparking permanent, which is Sparking 5, needing 5 cards in your drop, to pay this for free by taking a life instead of paying its energy cost. And it's very good because you choose one of your cards, give 40k power for the duration of battle, which you can defend anything with that, and then minus 10k when your opponent's cards for the turn. So you get 40k power for the battle on something, but you minus something by 10k for the turn. So it's really good options. And then lastly, you've got the best secret rare choice. Now we do have a new secret rare in this set that's red, but fortunately, to overwhelm it, unless you want to pay the 8 energy for it, you have to have a mono red Saiyan lead, which our leader is not in Shadow Dragons. So the next probably the best, well, yeah, definitely the best secret rare for this deck is going to be SSB Vegeta Unbridled Power, because unfortunately you can't play things like Pan or Kai in this deck because the leader says you can't play non-red battle cards in the deck. So the best secret to go for is SSB Vegeta Unbridled Power, which is nice because when you get to turn 4 and you should be able to survive until turn 4 with this deck, it comes down as a triple striker if you want to attack with it. Also comes down to make your opponent's leader by 5, so if you've got some more Shadow Dragons the turn before, you can put a bit more pressure on them. And it's nice because it's a board wipe as well, because you use its activate main to move from the game, and send all your opponent's battle cards and Unison cards, ignore barrier, and place them in the drop, and then deal damage to your opponent's life. So in this deck, having this secret rare, you don't even need to take all their life, you just need to get down to 1, and this guy finish the job. And that is it for today. This is it for the Syn one. So I know this one went for a while because it's the first one I did, and I just want to make sure I was very clear with this to give, because I am a big fan of this deck. I'm looking forward to playing. It's going to be my deck of choice for this format upcoming. And well, until we get the anniversary box, which is that's a video for a later date. But this is a really nice deck. I really like this one, and I hope this information is useful to you to give it a try. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.